how The Simpsons seem to predict the future. Is it possible that a cartoon from the late 80s can predict the future? That's the claim millions make every time a clip from The Simpsons surfaces online, showing events that shockingly resemble real life. From smartwatches to presidents no one saw coming, it seems like this family in Springfield has a crystal ball tucked behind their TV sets. But is it really prophecy, or something far more clever? Today we're diving deep into how The Simpsons appears to predict the future and why it's not as magical as it seems. Let's start with the brains behind the show. The writers of The Simpsons are not just comedians, they're sharp, satirical observers of society. They watch trends, politics, and technology like hawks, then exaggerate them just enough to make us laugh. And sometimes, years later, they hit the nail on the head. Take smartwatches, for example. In the show, a character is seen wearing a watch that does way more than tell time decades before. Apple or Samsung made them a staple on wrists worldwide. Or what about the discovery of the Higgs boson back in 1998? It was just a joke in a single episode, but fast forward 14 years, scientists finally confirmed it in 2012, and suddenly it wasn't so funny anymore. The writers aren't predicting the future, they're projecting the trajectory of the world around them. It's a mix of genius, humor, and razor-sharp observation, and that's what makes the show feel so uncanny at times. But here's the thing. The Simpsons has been on the air since 1989, with over 700 episodes produced. That's hundreds of hours of scenarios, gags, and wild predictions. With that volume, coincidences are statistically inevitable. Imagine tossing a coin 700 times. Eventually, it's going to land heads 10 times in a row. The same principle applies here. With so many storylines, some are bound to resemble real-life events later. And when they do, it feels like prophecy. But in reality, it's just probability meeting creativity. Another factor is vagueness. Many so-called predictions are incredibly general. The show might feature a new tech gadget, a weird headline, or a quirky virus outbreak, and later, someone points out, hey, that happened. The truth, they didn't predict it. They imagined a plausible scenario based on the world they were living in. And humans have a funny way of retrofitting events to match the past. When something happens, we tend to connect the dots backward, giving cartoons the credit they don't technically deserve. The Simpsons is more than a comedy, it's a mirror. It reflects society's fears, aspirations, and absurdities. A joke about a virus outbreak, an economic meltdown, or space tourism might look prophetic years later, but it's really just commentary on contemporary issues. The writers tap into the zeitgeist of their era, and that's what gives the illusion of foresight. The world changes, and suddenly, a decades-old gag feels eerily relevant. It's not prediction, it's reflection amplified through satire. And then there's selective memory. People love the hits and conveniently forget the misses. The Simpsons has thousands of jokes that never came true, but we rarely see those. Instead, a single clip of a prediction going right goes viral, and suddenly, it feels like magic. It's human nature to notice patterns and ignore the noise. And when combined with the show's brilliance, you get this perception of clairvoyance that's impossible to ignore. So, what's the truth? The Simpsons doesn't predict the future. It predicts possibilities, trends, and absurdities. The show is a masterclass in observation, satire, and imagination. And sometimes life catches up to the joke. Every time a clip resurfaces online claiming they predicted the next big headline, remember this, it's not a crystal ball, it's insight, creativity, and a little bit of luck. Next time you see Homer choking Bart or Lisa inventing something wild, don't panic thinking the writers know tomorrow's news. Instead, marvel at their genius, laugh at the absurdity, and maybe, just maybe, pay attention to the world around you because the real predictions are often hiding in plain sight. And if you want more mind-blowing moments from pop culture that almost predicted the future, stick around. We've got a list of the most jaw-dropping Simpsons moments that will make you question reality itself.